Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to State of Tech. My name's Jared and today is Friday, so we're going to talk about this week, some of the news, some of the stuff that's gone on this week in mobile tech. So the first thing, obviously, and it has been the last couple of weeks, is the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Today is the day when you can pick one up, or if you pre-ordered one, you should have received it. So, if those of you who stayed up until midnight, got your pre-order, you should be receiving it today. You should have been able to pick it up in a store, or maybe you waited in an extremely long line. I have no idea. But nonetheless, today is the day. And, from almost instantly after that pre-orders went live, the date slipped back. And so people who did not get one today may have an opportunity to buy one in a carrier store or at Apple, but it's going to be slim pickings. I mean, Apple even came out the other day and said they don't have any jet black or black devices in stock anywhere. It's basically gone, non-existent for now. So we do have an iPhone 7 Plus here though. It is rose gold and James bought it. He went to at&t today about a half hour after they opened, and they had a couple of gold and rose gold, and he had to have one. And I was kind of hoping that he'd get one, but he ended up picking up a rose gold. So we have a 7 Plus to play with. And so far, it's pretty cool. I've gotten to play with it for a couple of minutes. Has a little bit of differences to it, but if you have an iPhone 6S or 6S Plus, especially a 6S Plus, it's pretty much the same with some small little differences. Obviously that being no headphone jack on the bottom. So I thought I'd just show you guys really quick what those headphones look like. They have obviously a adapter in here so that you can continue to use your existing headphones. And then the headphones now, instead of having a normal headphone jack, it has a lightning, which means listen to music or charge, but not at the same time. So, it's interesting. I think, Apple, everybody's saying, did Apple kind of jump the gun on making this change? Apple does that. Apple takes things out maybe a little bit early, and that's okay. That's what they do. They took the CD drive out of the laptops when people were still using CDs, but we adapted, and Apple's forcing people to move forward, so no big deal. We actually attempted to pre-order some iPhone 7 Pluses with Bestbuy the next day after, or later that day after pre-release happened. And Bestbuy said they had them in stock. But I felt some disbelief because I had purchased or pre-ordered a Note 7 originally through Bestbuy, and when it came to the shipping day of my phone, or the day before I should have received it, I got an email from Best Buy saying that my phone wasn't going to be available for up to 30 days, which was really frustrating. And so when we got that email from Best Buy saying that our iPhones would be here today on the 16th of September, I had some disbelief. And then sure enough, yesterday evening, an email came through saying that our iPhones aren't going to ship until October 7th, and sure, they're giving out $100 store credit to everybody for the delay, but I feel like it was kind of a bait and switch type situation where they knew that that was going to be the case in advance. They figured, hey, we'll give people $100 and we'll just, hopefully they won't cancel their orders. They'll take the $100. Now that is generous to give $100. You don't see anybody else doing that for running out of phones, but they did promise a phone on a certain day and failed to deliver. And I think that they knew that ahead of time. I'm just going to put it out there and say that that was part of what they planned to do from the very beginning, which, whatever, it's a little sketchy, but hey, for those people that don't mind waiting, they're going to get $100 Best Buy store credit. So I'm back on Android. If you've been watching my videos here on State of Tech, you know that I've been on the iPhone SE, or the iPhone SE as I like to call it. And the iPhone SE has been a great phone, but it's just been really small, and I've noticed that the sensitivity of the screen has been a little off. Now, it might be my big fingers, but I think that the sensitivity of the screen is a little off, and it's been kind of a pain in the butt for me to use such a small phone, considering all the things that we do with our phones these days. So I took advantage of James getting the iPhone 7 Plus, and I bought his Galaxy S7 Edge off of him, and so now I'm back on Android, and I may be buying a Note 7 next week when they become back available in stores. I really like the Note 7, and I didn't have enough time to spend with it. I may go back in that direction. Who knows? So back on Android again, I flip-flop a lot throughout the year, so that's not going to be anything new news to any of you who know me or who watch these videos in the future. I flip-flop periodically throughout the year between not only between devices but between platforms as well. So for those of you that are photography enthusiasts, I spent the last week with the Canon 5D Mark IV. It's the latest full-frame professional camera from Canon. It's highly anticipated. It's been years since they updated that model, and I spent some time with it. So if you're interested in photography, and specifically the Canon 5D Mark IV, head on over to our other channel, Ditch Auto, because I've got some content up there for you, and I have my full review coming out soon. So you want to make sure to subscribe to Ditch Auto so that you get notified when that comes out. So other things that have been kind of more confirmed, they were already leaked, rumored information, but it's kind of more confirmed, is that Google's Next phones, known as the Nexus phones in the past, are going to be renamed to the Pixel and the Pixel XL. Now, that was a rumor up until earlier this week when the proposed Pixel launcher, the launcher that runs on the phone, was leaked and was able to be side-loaded into phones. People were able to get access to it. So we kind of know that that's a thing. I mean, unless somebody's done a really good job of hoaxing everybody, that seems to be a thing, and the new phones most likely now for sure are going to be the Pixel and Pixel XL. It just seems like that's where it's going because of everything that's been coming out and all the information that's been leaking lately. I'm really excited about that because the latest rumor to come out is that the Pixel phones could be the very first phones to use the next generation Snapdragon processor. And if that's the case, that means they're just going to be amazingly fast phones. And so I'm hoping that that is a soon thing, that those phones are going to be available relatively soon, because I will most definitely buy a Pixel or a Pixel XL, depending on what the difference is between the two of them. Let me know what you think about that. Are you a Nexus or kind of a pure Android person? What do you think about that? Or maybe you're even an iPhone user who's been thinking about going over to the side of pure Android. Let's talk about that in the comment section below. So the last bit of news this week, which isn't technology news in and around the world that we all live in, but it is for me, I built a PC. Now, I've been a Mac user for a long time. I switched over pretty much full-time as a Mac user, an Apple user, in 2001 when I bought my first laptop, Apple laptop. It wasn't my first Apple product. I had an Apple II back in the day, an Apple II GS as a child, and then skipped to PC for a little while, and then made the jump back to Apple. But we edit a lot of video. I'm sure you see how many uploads we post per week, not only here, but over at Ditch Auto. We edit a lot of video, and you just can't get through editing video fast on a Mac these days. Apple hasn't updated their products. They haven't updated the MacBook Pro very much lately. It's not fast anymore by today's standards and today's needs. And the Mac Pro is almost a 4-year-old computer that sure was very fast and powerful when it came out, but these days is lacking in the amount of performance that you get for the dollars that it costs to purchase one. So I decided, let's build a PC, and I have a video coming out hopefully early next week on that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel here, because the PC build was definitely fun. It was definitely a challenge. I haven't built a PC since I was 20 years old, so that was like the year 2000, and it's been a while, but it came back to me. The PC went together fine. There was just a couple of little issues, and I've been rendering out videos like crazy. It is amazing that a video that typically would take 15 to 20 minutes to render out on my MacBook Pro or on the iMac that we have here in the offices takes about 3 minutes to render out, maybe 4 minutes to render out on the new PC I built. So if you want to see some of that action, some of that information that I have about the PC build that I put together, make sure to subscribe, because next week we're going to release a video about that. And this is coming from a perspective of a photographer, somebody that loves technology, somebody that uses a PC for production, for photography, for video production. I don't game, but I did use a lot of gaming-specific pieces of hardware in my system. So if you are into gaming, you're really going to like this build. If you're into more production stuff like I am, you're going to like this build as well. So make sure to subscribe, and if you want to communicate with us, definitely head over to stateattech.net. We've got lots of stuff over there as well for you, and comment section below this video is a great place to talk about any of the news that's going on. I'd love to hear your opinion and your thoughts on stuff, so make sure that you check out that section below this video. So thanks so much for watching the video here, our news kind of video for the week. We hope to see you back next week here on State of Tech. Thanks.